Look at how beautiful you are. Like all these muscles. Whenever I look at this picture, I'm just like, wow. And it's not your waist, it's your cerebellum. That's what I was thinking about this morning, because the cerebellum is a little portion in the back of the brain. In Latin, it's known as the little brain. And it's responsible for muscle tone at rest. It's also responsible for glucose metabolism, posture, and it regulates our autonomic nervous system. And years ago, I became very fascinated with Robert Sapolsky's book, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers. He talked about the cerebellum's connection to the hippocampus, which is the memory center of the brain. And as you guys know, I'm very fascinated with diabetes type 3, Alzheimer's, dementia. And the cerebellum, which is responsible for, again, muscle tone on the body, glucose metabolism, posture, all these things slow down as we age, and then they slow down as we go into a disease state. So, you lose your memory when you go through a disease like dementia, which is diabetes type 3. And mind you, most people are pre-diabetic, like 1 in 4 people pre-diabetic. The CDC came out 1 in 3 teens are pre-diabetic. So our diabetic levels, our insulin resistant levels are really, really high right now, our autoimmune diseases as well. But also, so the cerebellum and the hippocampus, the memory center, also talk to the amygdala, the stress response. So it's like a little triangle. So the stress response, like a very simple, the nervous system and the stress response. The nervous system is either in heaven or hell. It's either in fight or flight or rest and digest. And of course we need both of these. And I always zoom out and I say just light and darkness, or in Eastern medicine they call it the yin and the yang. And if you've ever heard about heart rate variability at night, like a lot of people who wear tracking measurements, I wore the Oura Ring for a while, this one's dead, but it will give you a measurement at night between this nervous system balance. And while we are younger, we have a more resiliency, right? We're more flexible when we're younger, we have more collagen, our skin is more elastic, our balance and coordination is better. Why? Because this is a major function of the cerebellum. But when we're younger, our HRV is more resilient, it's higher, and as we age or get sick, it becomes lower. So it's not your waist, it's your cerebellum. One of the markers of diabetes or insulin resistance, stress in the body, is putting on weight in this midsection. So I made a video before too, it's not your waist, it's your calf muscles. Why engage with your calf muscles? Because when you engage with your calf muscles, think about how far down the calf muscles are from the brain. The calf muscles are one of the quickest places of the motor neurons. Think about like, if you got to go into a sprint, right? The calf muscles are very quick. They also serve as pumps for the lymphatic system. So the muscle is always like your best regulator of longevity. It's the largest endocrine organ, but it pumps all the blood, and there's so much being carried in the blood, hormones, oxygen, waste products. It carries it back up, pumps it back through the heart so that it can be all cleared out, and to the brain as well. So it's not your waist, it's your cerebellum, but it's not your waist, it's your calf muscles. All this musculature on the body, the reason why people work out, right? It's for the function of the cerebellum. And it's amazing because I met someone the other day and they do a lot of work with autism, and we're talking about how the cerebellum is responsible for processing speeds in the brain. The cerebellum also has connections to the frontal cortex, which we don't develop into our mid-20s, but the cerebellum it taps into these processing areas, secondary sensory, secondary motor areas. And again, this is just so simple to think about. The cerebellum, we lose that gray matter function, we lose our posture, we don't hear as well, we don't see as well, we lose muscle as we age. So the easiest thing to think about is, what does optimal health look like? It looks like restoring your cerebellum functioning. And that's why I made videos like a while ago about juggling, and I'll juggle a little bit more for you guys, because the whole reason I got into this research was when I was in high school, my teacher said, okay guys, we're going to do a how-to speech. So you could do a how-to speech on anything. And I was like, you know what? One thing weird that, my button popped over, one thing weird that I taught myself how to do when I was younger was juggle. And so I started to look into like one of the questions was, what is the reason, why would you learn to juggle? Like, what is the reason being? Well, one of the reasons I found was that juggling increases gray matter in the cerebellum and in the brain. So why is this important? Because again, the cerebellum is responsible for muscle motor coordination. The gray matter is also touching the white matter, and all this matter, like again, the brain deteriorates with age. It deteriorates when we don't use our bodies, we lose, right? You could lay in bed for a week and lose a tremendous amount of muscle mass, right? You could go on an ice cream bender and lose a tremendous amount of muscle mass, but if you're eating enough protein, you're going to maintain your muscle mass. But so I got into it for my speech class in high school. Then I did another speech class in college where I juggled lemons, and it was a how-to speech. I think it was much better. I got an A on it. And it was how to, and why would you want to? Because it's good for the brain. Movement and coordination is good for the brain. And not only that, like the gray matter was the physical metabolism, the structure, the gray matter, the musculature on the body would be touching the white matter. These are interconnected. The white matter is considered more of like our personality or emotional responses. And both of these things atrophy, but they also strengthen together. So as you strengthen the gray matter, you strengthen the white matter, you strengthen the white matter, you strengthen the gray matter, right? If I go to sleep, I'm going to have a stronger day. If I have an active day where I'm eating good foods, I'm going to have a more restful, deep sleep at night. This yin and this yang. And then in the same way with talking about a more drastic situation with night and day is talking about cancer progressions, cancer tumor, and cell growth signaling. Is melatonin is one of the largest tumor cell suppressors. So I always want to be protecting my melatonin. The best way to do that is to lean into my daytime growth factors. Waking up in the morning, signaling to my brain that I'm awake, signaling that I want my cortisol to come up because I'm trying to build melatonin. Every time I go in the sun and embrace the light, I'm technically embracing the darkness. I'm building melatonin when I go in the sunlight. Every time I exercise, I'm building melatonin in my body. Every time I eat protein, fatty acids, and amino acids, I'm building melatonin for nighttime. I'm leaning into my day to have a better night. When I have a better night, I have a better day. And yeah, so it's just like, may the cycle be forever in your favor, because it always is. I'm trying to think if that was pretty much it. I kind of got to go. But I'm also in this class. And my teacher is amazing. She is constantly like, I know I'm in the right place because I'm like listening. It's called Cells and Tissues, so I'm literally learning about my favorite topic, the cell, and the mitochondria and all the good things inside the cell. But my teacher is like, as she's teaching, she's like, it's so beautiful, it's so amazing. And like, I like cried listening to my lectures because I was like, my teacher gets it. She is like enthusiastic. It is so beautiful. It's amazing. Our bodies are so intelligent, incredible. Like, it blows my mind what happens beyond the surface of what we can see. You go under the microscope and it's like there are miracles happening, especially when you believe in good things that can happen to you. Like, maybe it's like the same thing with like, that's why I read A Course in Miracles. You go and look in the mirror and you don't see your body accurately. Like, you don't see this cell when you look into the mirror. You tend to focus on, what you don't like and whatnot. Neville Goddard says faith is your fortune. So it's all about feeling into, using your spiritual sight is feeling into beyond what you see. So maybe you are not happy with the way things are, but if you close your eyes and you feel the warmth and everything that's inside your heart and who you really are, you like bring this energy back into you. And Einstein said, space-time is bent with the presence of matter and energy. What matter and energy? The powerhouse of the cell, the mitochondria, the source, the main primary source of our light, a secondary place where we have DNA. Mitochondria holds their own DNA. When you embrace the light, the sunlight in particular, but also the thought that anything could happen, like good things happen, the light, spiritual light, you bend space-time. And that's what they're discovering in quantum physics is like your thought. Like Joe Dispenza did a study on people just thinking about doing bicep curls, just thinking about it, meditating on it, thinking about it. They increase their muscle mass. They also increase immune markers. So it's like the placebo. Everybody knows about the placebo effect. If you do something, things will increase it. It reminds me of like, even if you, like, everything that you do is for your highest health and good. Like, even if I sit down and I eat this brownie that's full of sugar that maybe is not the best for me, I've come to a point in my journey where it's like, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy this. And like, for whatever reason, this brownie, even though I know it doesn't have the best ingredients for me, I'm going to enjoy it. And this is good for me. This is good for my soul. That's why I tell people it's soul food. And, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, people have all different kinds of ideas of health. And again, if you go back to placebo and how strong the mind is, like, if you're doing things that are not in line with what your idea is to be healthy. So I ate that brownie. Shouldn't have eaten that brownie. I'm going to have to go walk 700 miles to burn off these calories. I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. No, just enjoy it. Like, your spiritual health is your physical health. Like, this brownie is good for my soul. I needed to treat myself. And you know what? When I go on my walk right after this, I'm going to have a little bit extra energy to go on my walk, and then I thoroughly enjoyed it, right? So it's just an idea. I love you a lot. I'm going to go, but if you found this helpful, you can like, share, and subscribe. Do your calf raises. You don't even have to, don't rush through those raises. Just get up on your toes and do a still contraction. You just get up on your toes while you're brushing your teeth, or while you're making some food, or you're doing your laundry. You just get up on your tiptoes and you just hold it there. And you're activating the cerebellum. Every time you like go to lose your balance, that's the cerebellum. It's like the cerebellum's like, whoa, let me keep you steady. Let me hold it down for you. So every time you potentially are losing your balance, because cerebellum is involved with that, you are actively engaging with that. You're actively strengthening your posture, all of the muscle tone in your body. You're working towards insulin sensitivity, which is light sensitivity. You are increasing your learning processing speed, your memory center. You are decreasing the stress response, everything. It's so beautiful. It's so simple, huh? But anyway, I'm going to go. But I will catch you next time. Oh, may you always be blessed with the clarity to know what is and what isn't meant for you. Your intuition is always guiding you. It's your immune system. Make sure you eat your amino and fatty acids. Every day is a new day to have a different biochemical cascade. So you got this. I will catch you later.